Well, good evening. um, this is Black Friday, so to speak. We're going to call it Green Friday because we're going to be talking about gardening and beekeeping, and we have a few interesting things to share. So we hope that when you see this later, I don't see anybody watching live with us, but that's okay. We're still going to share some stuff, and the rewatch crew that comes in later can catch up with us. um, to get started, beekeeping, we're still beekeeping this time of the year. It's November, well, obviously Thanksgiving. And I actually, with a friend, James, we went and collected a um, colony of bees out of a water meter box. And we shared that video yesterday. It went live yesterday. Um, and it was interesting. I mean, there was the water meter was filled from side to side, full of nectar, full of bee comb, and it was honey. 100%, almost 100%. I'll say 95% honey. Um, it was particularly interesting. James and I were talking, and if you watch the full length video that I posted, we were talking about when we started getting into this colony in this water meter box, that it was all honey. We saw very little pollen, although I did see bees bringing in pollen before we opened it up, just a little bit. And as we started getting towards the middle of that colony, which when you get to the middle, if you're a beekeeper, you kind of know that's where you start to expect to find brood, eggs, larvae, etc. Granted, this is late in the year, and the queen probably had started to shut down. And so we're talking about that. And as we're going through that and noting that we're not seeing any eggs or larvae, it's like we start to think about it being a queenless hive. And if that was true, it's going to be dying anyway. The bees wouldn't make it through winter. Most likely, there'd be no more bees in the colony. There's nobody making new bees. So as they die, they would just be dead. We got down to the very end. We had all of the comb cleaned out of that colony, out of that water meter box. And we were starting to vacuum the bees. We have a special bee vac, James does. And we were vacuuming the bees, and we spotted a queen. It was surprising. We didn't expect to see one. We fully anticipated that this was a queenless hive. And so it was really surprising. We found her. We captured her, put a couple of attendants in the cage with her, and put that into the little box, the capture box that we had. We were working those bees. They were so gentle. And then if you see the video, you'll know we started out with gloves, full gear, masks and everything. By the end, no mask was needed, no veil, no gloves. The bees were that gentle, which was pretty incredible considering that we had just took everything from that colony, everything they had. And so that was pretty amazing. I also got into one of my bee colonies today. I got stung for it, but that happens from time to time. I had to stop early because I had a couple of bees that found their way into my veil. So I'm wearing a veil and a mask, and the bees are flying around in front of my eyes. It's like, this isn't right. There's something going on. And so I needed to button up what I was doing and get them done, to get them locked back up. So we did. The bees are still very active here. You're seeing them on flowers and things, right?
Somewhat. Middle of the day. Early in the morning, it's still too cold for them.
What do you, I know we've been trying to take videos and pictures of the bees and what they're visiting during the months that we're out in the garden. I know I saw them on borage the other day. What else did we?
I was going to say that's their top flower. Yeah, yesterday I saw some on the Cosmos, but I didn't get my phone quick enough to get a picture.
Yeah, so there's a few. We still have flowers out in the garden. I know a large part of the U.S. everything's starting to go dormant. Here we still are getting a few figs, and we still have flowers, some really pretty flowers. I think there's some gomphrena. The pansies are still there, right?
Petunias.
Oh, petunias, salvia. We have some mist flowers. So we still have a fair amount of flowers out in the garden. And we try to see what they're going after, and the bees to collect nectar and pollen. And it's been fun. But yeah, so the beekeeping is still going on. And we've been sharing a lot of different things with the videos and flowers and what the bees are doing. Then the garden. What have you been working on in the garden, Sarah?
Trying to get carrots to sprout, putting in a cover crop, putting out mulch, normal stuff for this time of year.
Yeah, we're starting to do some preparing for winter. We have a new tool that we got is a pipe bender. And so we're going to be creating some low tunnels for anything that we have that we want to take through winter. Mostly we're planting cold hardy plants right now.
Yeah.
So I know you have carrots. What else do we have out there?
Garlic. We still have some peppers out there, but we're not going to try and get them through winter.
Yeah.
Same with the green beans. We've had a frost, but it didn't kill everything. So I'll take that.
Yeah, it was funny because we made a video and we were talking about the timing of the green beans and how we weren't getting any. And in that video, I don't know if anyone else caught it, but there was a green bean. I saw one green bean when we were talking about not having that green bean, any green beans. And we went out and checked, and it was like magic. They really, once the heat broke, the triple digits, they really took off. And we've been collecting some green beans, some yellow beans, and you've done some canning. Did you make some pickled green beans yet?
Yeah, I made 7 jars of pickled green beans.
And so those are a favorite snack around the house. And anyone else? Anything else we got going on out there in the garden? I mean, we're doing a lot of cleanup.
Yeah, normal stuff for this time of year.
Yeah, taking out the dead stuff, preparing for winter, doing the low tunnels. We finished our water collection, and we want to do some work on that. We need to get some things done there. We need a water pump so that I can use the hose. Right now, I'm just using the watering can to water. And that takes a while. That takes too long for the size of garden that we have and the size of garden that we're going to have. Indeed. We're expanding the garden. At the fig forest we started this spring. Those figs in the ground look fabulous. Yeah, the trees are really healthy. I mean, they look like, I don't know if they've even noticed that it's gotten cooler. The ones in the pots have. I mean, they're turning yellow and they're starting to drop their leaves, the ones that are in the pots. For sure. But the ones in the ground, they're starting to get some yellow leaves, but mostly they're just slowing down. Yeah. And we got to visit some friends. We made some new friends from our bee club, and their yard was fabulous. It was amazing. They have many figs, over 100 types of varieties of figs, and all kinds of fruit trees. Mulberries. We got to try some jujubes, a couple different jujubes. First time. Yeah, first time we got to try some jujubes, and they were really good. And then what else? Pomegranates? No, yes, they had pomegranates. And the persimmons. The persimmons, several types of persimmons. They had pawpaws, just all kinds of fruit. And their pet tortoise, their security alarm, their guard tortoise. So if you guys see this later, we just say hello. And it was fun to go and visit with them. It's always fun to make new friends and garden that have similar interests in gardening and figs. He shared some figs with me too. Sent me home with nine new fig trees of varieties I didn't have. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. And we're looking forward to that and sharing those out further even still. So, but we are expanding the fig forest. We're going to double it. The ground has already been mostly prepared. I need to get out there, and then we would need to
dig out the last few weeds and put in terraces.
Yep, and build the terraces.
So moving right along.
Yes. You want to talk about the soil test now?
Yes.
The soil test. Wow. I've shared a little bit about the interesting soil tests. Early this year, was it February or March? I don't remember. We started talking about soil tests, and I had this notion hey, wouldn't it be cool to do a couple of soil tests? My original plan was to do 3 different soil tests, I think. I think that was what my original thought was, and just do a comparison, just to see what the different soil labs, the soil tests, what they came back with. And I didn't really think anything of it per se.
I was thinking that we could see, not only what the differences were, but we were expecting the results to be really close, but the graph, which was more readable and which gave, the best advice on how to adjust the soil, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, so we did that. We ordered some tests.
We only did 2.
Yeah.
Mostly because they were pricier than we expected. Everything has gone up.
Yeah.
So
even since then, the prices have gone up. So we did a test using RX soil.
Yes. And just to put in a plug, they are on sale 15% off until Monday.
Yeah. So if you want to do a soil test for fall, which we highly recommend, the
RX soil.
RX soil is on sale. But let me bring up a little thing here to share with you. We put some info together and to help maybe guide us through some of this stuff. So soil tests. Should you do a soil test?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, if you're in gardening too for very long, or if you're really interested in it, if you do some looks, some research, everyone will tell you when you get serious about gardening, you should really do a soil test. You want to know what's going on with your soil.
And over time, your plants take the nutrients out of the soil, and if you know what's in your soil to begin with, several years down the road, that can change.
Definitely. But anyway, it provides critical information. Soil tests provide critical information on chemical, biological, and nutritional composition of what you have. Most of us, certainly around here, it's mostly clay.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of it's depleted. It's not great soil. The native soil here is not good soil.
It needs amending.
It definitely needs amending.
And it's very compacted.
Yes. Very, very. If I was telling Sarah when I planted one bush, maybe last year, when I dug the hole for it, it was like digging a bowl of clay. If I poured water into it, it would just hold it like a bowl. That's how compacted and just the clay was just not going to release it. So we really need to do some work with our soil, our native clay, our native soil.
Yeah. There's lots of options. We're still trying different things.
Yeah. Soil tests will also help you identify what you need to put into your soil, the amendments.
Right.
And it saves you time and money with guesswork. So if you can go and put plants in, and if you don't have the right nutrients for your plants, there'll likely, it's going to come a time where they will start to suffer.
Well, like for one example, even if you are giving your plants something, like say, all plants need nitrogen to grow. So if a regular gardener adds nitrogen every year, if you end up adding too much, you'll end up with big, beautiful, healthy plants, but very little fruit.
Yeah.
So, a soil test, like he said, it can take the guesswork out of it. So you know exactly what you need to add and how much.
Yeah. And one of the highlight notes that we want to make is a healthy soil means healthier plants, which means fewer problems in your plants, like pests and diseases. And we all like that, fewer pests and fewer diseases in our plants. And really, it's the basis. The soil is really the big thing. You really want to get a good soil to help with that.
Well, if you think about it, pests are predators of a sort.
Yep.
They're just tiny.
Yep.
And like, think of a wolf pack. They don't go after the strongest one. They will go after the weakest one in the herd. And insects do the same thing.
Yep.
They will go after the weakest plant.
Yeah, pests and diseases both. So if they like anything that's struggling, they will make it struggle more.
Yes, they will.
So anyway, as we were starting to talk about what we did 2 different soil tests, 2 different labs, this from the same soil sample. We collected enough soil to do both of the tests so that there was no difference, no different in times. The soil that each lab got came from the same sample that we created.
It was just all mixed together, same bucket, took some out for one, took some more out for the other.
Yep. And we created a video, and I just had put that online last week as well, how to do a soil test. And if you're interested, you should go check that out. The results from the tests came in email. Yeah,
one came in after a week and the other after 3 or 4.
Yeah, it took a little while for the second test to come in. But you get your email, you get your test results in email.
Mosquito. It's still got it. Sorry.
So kind of here's just a real quick, let me show you what this looks like. This is where the results that we got. And you can see that we got 2 different ones. And we're going to talk about these because there's some really crazy stuff in here.
Very much so.
So here was the test from Soil RX.
The test results.
Yeah, the test results from Soil RX. A couple of things to notice. Why don't you talk through that, Sarah?
Well, the soil pH is 5.5. And as it says, is really, really low especially for our area, because the native soil, when we had it tested when we first started gardening, it was over 8. But this was from raised bed, so not native soil. But it was still a surprise. We were thinking, oh my gosh, we could plant blueberries in that.
Yeah. So
that would be great.
Yeah, we thought, this was amazing because this was the test that we got, the test results we got back first. And a pH of 5.5, blueberries would grow fabulous in that soil.
Oh, that's just what they like.
Yeah. So we were, really, really surprised. It's like we were actually started talking about, well, what do we want to put in there? And then something else came in. The second test results.
Yeah, and we were looking, we were waiting, checking email every day to see when they would come, and it got here, and it's like, what?
Yes. So same soil sample, and the results were dramatically different.
So different.
You can see here, this soil pH from this one was listed at 7.7. Same soil sample. I don't know how you go from one getting a 5.5 from the same bucket, same soil, and the other one getting a 7.7. And then the organic matter.
Holy cow. This one is
33.57%.
Yeah.
And so that means more than a third of the soil sample
was organic
matter,
which I suppose is possible because we have added a lot of compost to the beds.
Yeah.
And that soil originally came from a neighbor who moved to the area who came with a complete organic garden in their backyard, which they didn't want. So we were the lucky recipients of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was our first time testing that soil.
Yeah. So it was just incredible. So you see, this one says 33.57% of organic matter, whereas this one, let me pull this up. organic matter, where is it?
In
Oh, right
the
here,
middle, right there.
4.8%. How
Huge
it's
difference.
like how we have no explanation. Same soil sample, 4.8% versus 35%. It's like we really were at a loss.
Yeah, keep going to the
Yes.
next one.
So
You
here,
can see side by side.
yes, here the sample side by side.
And you can see the difference in pH. And then the nitrate on the one on the right is 57.
Yes, 57.
And does it have nitrates on the one on the left? Yeah, that would be nitrogen. So
I'm sure it's here somewhere. Organic matter, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur.
I don't see it, but I know they tested for it.
Yeah, I know they did too. Anyway, I had to cut and paste because the results did a little bit.
They didn't all fit on one page from
page.
that lab.
So anyway, there.
And then phosphorus at 234, and that one
is 55.
Yeah, 234 versus 55.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So.
And normal is what, 50?
50. Yeah.
So they're both high, but one is just barely high and the other one is way high. And what else? Potassium, 614 compared to
89.
89.
So you can tell these results were just, we were flabbergasted. It's like
they can't both have tested the same soil.
Yeah, they it's like, how does this even possible? We know that we sent them the same exact soil. So we really didn't know. So this is where we ended up. What do you do? Which test is right?
Yeah, I mean, you think getting a soil test is going to tell you what to do in your soil, but with getting them both so differently, what do we do?
Yeah. So this is what we did. We contacted both of the labs, and I was actually surprised because I sent a really nice email. It's like, can you help us understand these two differences? I sent the results from both tests to both labs. Mm-hmm. And I said, can you help us understand what is going on here? And they both graciously responded very quickly. I mean, one responded, RX Soil, the CEO contacted me directly within hours of me sending this over to them, and said, wow, this doesn't make any sense to us either. And they had the picture, they had of our soil, they photographed everything. They had the kit, the code that we sent.
Yeah, and that's one thing I love about that lab is it comes with an ID code that they give you in a postcard for you to keep for your records, and it's on the box and it's on the soil sample bag itself. That's exactly so this what doesn't happen, so it won't get mixed up with anybody else's soil sample.
Yeah. So they had the picture, they had everything, and both of the people that contacted me back, one was the doctor that runs the lab for Texas A&M, mm-hmm. because that's where we got our second test was done by Texas A&M, and then RX Soil. They were both pretty much flabbergasted as much as we were, and they had no really idea how it could have happened. They both have excellent tracking, so they both are standing by the results, but we still were in this quandary. It's like, well, which one is right?
Yeah.
So I sent them very specific information on how the soil was collected. I can't help but wonder if some of the results that they use are based on historical data, because the A&M doctor sent me back very detailed maps. They have everything mapped out as to what the construction of the soil in your area is. I mean, very detailed map.
Yeah.
And I probably should have brought that over just to share it. But so I just wonder if maybe they didn't use that as a basis for the results.
It just makes you wonder because they were so different.
Yeah. So RX Soil offered to do a retest. They sent us a whole new test kit, and we are doing that. We actually have completed that test.
and we sent it in almost a week ago.
Yep.
So we are checking email every day for the results.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the first time we're waiting on pins and needles to see, okay, what are the results?
Yeah.
What does our soil actually need?
Yeah. And so I was kind of hoping that maybe both would offer a retest, but one didn't. One is enough because that one soil test, that when we get the results back, it should tell us which one of the original two was right.
However, it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because obviously
We've had a
we
growing
grew
season.
things through the summer.
Yeah.
So, and after we got back the first test, they recommended adding nitrogen. They recommended adding a
bone meal,
pretty much a full spectrum granular fertilizer.
Yeah.
So we did both of those things.
Yeah.
And our plants did well over the summer, so I'm good with that. But well, most did well. Our tomatoes did terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm not blaming that so much on the soil. I'm still learning how to do tomatoes here.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So
we're hoping that, this will at least give us an indication of which soil test of the original soil test results was more accurate.
Yeah.
It's just really crazy. This is important information. I mean, really not only for us, but for all gardeners. If you only did one soil test and it came back, can you trust the results?
Yeah, we would have thought that the first one was perfect. That was just like, wow, okay, this looks really good. Our soil has most of what it needs. And
we wouldn't have even questioned it.
Yeah, no.
So it's really interesting. I mean, can you trust this? If you only do one soil test, can you trust it? So I reached out to RX Soil, the CEO from RX Soil, and he agreed that he would be willing to come and talk with us live here with all of you. So we can go over this whole scenario and figure out, what should people do? I mean, you can't have people sending multiple soil samples and request multiple tests from multiple places.
That just gets too expensive.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So you have to be able to trust the results that you get.
So yeah, we will definitely be asking him, about trusting the results and seeing what his response is.
Yeah, it's really important information. So as far as a gardener goes, soil test is really important, but it's also important that the soil lab gives you accurate results. And
yeah,
I just can't say that we trust either one at this point until we get some more information. If we hadn't done multiple soil tests, we would have just been blindly going. And I wonder if that has happened to, many people. It
does make you wonder.
It makes you wonder for sure. So that was the soil test results. Now, I don't know where we go from here other than we will be getting together with the RX Soil CEO.
and go ahead.
I was going to say, he's very gracious, and I'm sure he would really love just to chat about it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I would say they were both gracious in their responses.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And we greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm not trying to cast, aspersions on anyone or any company, but it's important information. It's important to be able to trust the people that you request data from.
Yeah.
And if you don't get accurate, results, then there's an issue, there's a problem. And I think they want to know about it too. And if there's an issue, because they send they trust on other people to do the actual soil testing, scientists. And if there's an issue, they want to know about it too. And so,
well, that's their business.
Yeah. So when we get those results, we'll be sure to share those with you too. And
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. It's been an interesting ride with this whole soil test thing. And I'm kind of glad that I did that to start with. the idea of doing multiple tests. Just as a side note, when I talked to the CEO of Arc Soil, he said, "Yeah, we get this, somewhat regularly. Content creators doing multiple tests, and almost invariably the tests come in very, very close, which is what we expected."
Yeah, that's exactly what we expected.
And so they're aware that people do this type of thing, but this situation was unique. And
unfortunately so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's soil, and we kind of have a good idea for what to look for in our plants anyway, and we kind of know we need to fertilize and nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash. I mean, potash. That's I always mess with Sarah. She always smiles. If you ever see her talking about potash, it's like she's gonna smile because I always say it funny. Anyway.
He enjoys making me laugh.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is there anything else that we wanted to cover tonight?
I think that pretty much covers it. And yeah, that's good for tonight.
Yeah, for sure. We really appreciate you guys watching. And if you get a chance, a thumbs up, a like would really help us out.
And if you have any questions for us, leave those in the comments, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, please. If you're interested in this, let us know. If you have specific questions about soil testing, as I said, we're going to have the Arc Soil CEO here. And I may try to reach out to the doctor at A&M and see if he might join us as well. Maybe he might not want to do it at the same time. I don't know. But, it's interesting, and soil is their science. That's what they do, and so I think they're very interested in it as well. And like I said, if you have any questions, reach out. And
if we'd love to hear what your experiences with soil tests have been too.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't be shy. Make sure to give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you find this interesting. We really appreciate it. It helps us out. We don't count on any, just so you know, we don't collect it. We haven't collected a single penny from YouTube. Even though we're monetized, we haven't gotten a single penny, and that's okay. That's not why we do this. We do this to have fun and share information and projects with you. And if you learn something, that's really what we're about. We love to help people and teach people, and it's also for us to share with family and friends, not only currently but down the road. They can look back and see, what we were about and what we were doing here. So, anyway, that was it. And with that, we will sign off. And we appreciate your time. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Y'all have a great night.